This video is brought to you by Audible. This is what happens when I'm too chicken to see a horror film. This week I'm talking about The Space Between Us starring Asa Butterfield and Britt Robertson. The Space Between Us takes place in the near future where, on a mission to colonize Mars, one of the astronauts somehow gets pregnant and dies while giving birth to the child. This baby grows up to be Gardner, played by Asa Butterfield. Eager to find his father and meet his internet girlfriend Tulsa, played by Britt Robertson, he travels to Earth only to find out that his heart can't handle our gravity. Now, before I give my thoughts on this film, you might be wondering why I went to go see this instead of Rings. If you frequent my channel, you know that horror is my least favorite genre. I only really go see a horror movie if it has an interesting premise, like Don't Breathe or Unfriended, two films that I actually did enjoy. But back to this slapfest. I will say that it's a decent film for the first 20 to 30 minutes. The whole idea of colonizing Mars is an interesting topic, and Gardner comes off as somewhat of a smart and compelling character. The only person that he really relates to is a girl millions of miles away that he chats with. I thought that they had a pretty decent film for everything that Gardner was going through on Mars. However, once he leaves his home planet and lands on Earth, it's a completely different film. It becomes a sad mix of The Fault in Our Stars and Blast from the Past. Gardner goes from being a smart and interesting young man to a clumsy and weird teenager. It's almost as if two separate movies were made and they were smashed together. Like I said, the beginning is decent, but the majority of the film is straight up young adult romance BS, full of bad dialogue and illogical story beats. Then there's Britt Robertson's character Tulsa. I found her to be unbelievably annoying, and it wasn't really because of Robertson's performance. I found it more to be with the writing. You can tell she was trying her best with this character, she just didn't have much to work with. The same can be said about the supporting characters. Gary Oldman and Carla Gugino had some admirable performances, but they're weighed down by the characters that aren't all that interesting, which is the movie's biggest problem. Aside from the things that happen on Mars, this movie bored me to death. The Space Between Us isn't getting much love from the critics either. It's boasting an 18% on Rotten Tomatoes and a 33% on Metacritic. Here are some of the things that they're saying about this film. This is a saccharine science fiction romance that doesn't actually concern itself with science fiction or romance. Instead, it's equivalent to astronaut ice cream, lacking in substance and crumbling to bits at the slightest pressure. The story plays out on two planets, Mars and Earth, while the production follows its own orbit in a state of zero gravity, zero nuance, and sub-zero sense. The Space Between Us attempts to take young love to literally new heights before crash landing into an earthbound hash of schmaltzy cliche and romantic absurdities. And my personal favorite, ultimately this is a bad movie about a Martian and his girlfriend playing hide and seek from some space cops. Not much to say about what the YouTubers think because none of the major ones I follow reviewed it, which is probably for the best, but I did end up subscribing to two new channels that did review this movie, Double Toasted and EPN.TV. They both had pretty much the same reaction to the film as I did, but the guys from Double Toasted did address something that I want to talk about.
I know you've had to seen at least pictures of the ocean or something. The movie he shows where his mom was with that guy, there's a picture of the ocean in the background. He's like, oh wow.
Yeah, you watch movies like you've seen a movie with a horse. When a horse comes, you're like, what the f is that? You know, it's like, come on, man.
Seeing pictures of something is one thing, but actually seeing it in person is another. The Grand Canyon is a perfect example of this. Everyone's seen pictures of it at one point or another, but those who've actually gone and seen it in person can attest that the pictures really don't do it justice. I know this really doesn't matter, but I wanted to talk about something to fill the time a bit more. At the box office this weekend, The Space Between Us didn't even crack the top 5, making only $3.8 million. Bad news considering the movie's $30 million budget. If you were wondering, Rings made $13 million, coming in second behind Split. This might make it seem like I should have seen that instead of The Space Between Us, but after watching and reading reviews, I'm pretty sure I wasn't missing out. So there are a few moments of charm in The Space Between Us, but overall it's the same recycled young adult romance we've seen time and time again. The actors try their best but are forced to work with poorly written and lackluster characters. But if you're a fan of this genre, I think you'll find something to like about this movie. But I want to know what you think. I doubt it, but if you did in fact see The Space Between Us, let me know what you thought of it in the comments below. Again, this video is brought to you by Audible. Get a free audiobook download and 30-day free trial by going to audibletrial.com/videos by Andrew. Over 180,000 titles to choose from to download to your media player of choice. Just head on over to audibletrial.com/videos by Andrew and get your free audiobook download and help support this channel. Don't forget to like and share this video and consider following me on social media. If you're new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button for more movie discussion as well as various other videos I do on this channel. Thank you so much as always for watching. If you like this, you can click right here and see more videos by Andrew.